Alright, good morning guys. So I'd like to talk to you first a little bit about what I wanted to be when I was a little girl. Like many little girls, I thought it would be awesome to be a princess. So I practiced often. Dress up, Halloween, even going to bed, because believe it or not, that middle getup I actually wore to sleep. And I practiced all the time because I figured this would be a pretty lucrative career and I wanted to be well qualified when the time came. However, unfortunately I realized that Disney princesses don't make up a very significant portion of the workforce. In fact, they make up 0% of the workforce. So I decided to become a little more logical, a little more realistic, and I decided I was going to be an English princess because, and now guys come with me because at this point there were still 2 eligible princes, so this was actually, for a little kid, a fairly logical plan. But unfortunately, as you can see, this didn't pan out. I would not be here right now if this panned out. I would be receiving flowers or wearing some awesome hat. But so eventually, I realized that I live in the United States and we don't have royalty here. We have a president. But what the president does have is a first lady, and that's about as close as you can get to a princess here. And I came to realize that princesses are not even as cool as first ladies. Started emulating Martha Washington, as you can see. Now, first ladies are very neat because not only are they a cool social figure, but they've also been able to influence social change and reform and have been really effective in moving forward women's rights. And this has happened throughout history, but there were a couple kind of key players in this. And the first was Louisa Adams. Now, I get really excited about these first ladies, so stay with me here, but she was really cool. This was a fiery lady who was from Europe, and a lot of people didn't like her, thought she was very European. And an editorial was written criticizing her and her husband in the paper. She wasn't going to stand for it. She sat down, she took out her pen, and she wrote an eloquent yet fiery editorial showing American women that it was okay to stand up for what you believe in, and that it was okay to defend the people you care about. So she not only set a precedent for first ladies, but she set a precedent for American women. Next, Edith Wilson. When her husband fell ill and couldn't perform his duties as president, she took over, essentially. And a lot of people criticized her. They said, petticoat government, nations being run by a woman. She didn't care. Every morning the advisors came in with a stack of papers and said, hey Edith, give these to your husband, have him sign. She said, all right guys. Then she flipped through and she pulled out the ones she thought were important. She said, hey honey, sign these, and he did. And she essentially controlled the government for the last couple months of his term. Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm sure a lot of you love her, yeah, I know. She's awesome. She was a leader in her own right, and she decided to take the first ladyship to a whole new level. She had a social secretary. She held over 300 press conferences in her career. She did radio broadcasts for a daily column. She let the American women know that it was okay not only to have an opinion, but to share your opinion, and to work for your opinion and try and make a change in society. And Hillary Clinton really played off of that. Whether you love her or hate her, she definitely made a difference. She took her husband's healthcare initiative and spearheaded it, and she made a really big difference. A lot of people even said that they got 2 presidents for the price of 1, and she probably took that as a compliment, because she wanted to show people that it was okay for women to make a difference in politics. Now, as you can see, first ladies have really taken the role and turned it into something new. In the past, they were just behind their husband. They were submissive, they agreed with their husband, maybe they counseled him in private, but never would they speak their mind in public. Now, not only are they speaking their mind explicitly through campaigns, but they're leading by example. And one example where this has happened is Nancy Reagan. I love Nancy Reagan, I'm not gonna lie. And she did her Just Say No to Drugs campaign. And she actually made a huge difference because cocaine and marijuana usage dropped a lot. And this can be attributed specifically to her campaign. And then, years later, Michelle Obama and her Let's Move campaign. She not only influenced children, because she got 1.7 million of them to move, she influenced the economy. Walmart has promised that by 2015, they're going to remove all trans fats and reduce salt and added sugars. This is a first lady making a huge difference not only in society and the lives of Americans, but in the economy, which I think is very neat and is definitely a huge change. First ladies have not only influenced by directly saying, hey, we should stop doing drugs, or hey, we should move more. They've influenced just by leading by example. And this is really prevalent in higher education. In the 1960s and 1950s, when Jackie O and Lady Bird were going to college, this was not something that women did. Some women did it, and it was admirable, and it was neat, good for them. But it wasn't something women were expected to do. However, these ladies, Jackie O went to Vassar, and Lady Bird went to the University of Texas, they both decided to make their education prominent. They let people know that this was something that they wanted to be mainstream, and they thought this is something that little girls should read the newspaper and read about the first ladies and decide that they wanted to do. And we've seen this impact in society because look at, we almost have 12 million women going to college, and every woman in this room has been influenced by a first lady. So am I saying that first ladies have the toughest job in the world, that they're the most influential people in America? No, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they are influential people in America, and they've decided to become influential people in America. They've decided to take their opinions and tell American people about them and make a difference through campaigns and through example. So who has the toughest job in the world? That would be President Barack Obama. But as President Truman's daughter once said, first ladies easily have the second toughest job in the world. And as you can see, Michelle Obama and every other first lady has certainly stepped up to it, and I look forward to seeing what they do in the future. Thank you.